others who have not acquired the skill.
With 10,000 graduates now equipped with digital tools and global exposure, the Skill Up Imo program continues to strengthen the state's position as a rising digital hub in Nigeria. From Owerri, Amarachi Ibe reporting for Global TV News.
This is Global Television. Tonight, you're watching the live broadcast of News Prime with Uyi Agmofwebe. When the rest of the news returns shortly, Cameroon goes to the polls to elect a president as incumbent Paul Biya seeks 8th term in office. We'll have those details for you, plus more from business and sports segments. Please do stay with us. Tonight, the second part of our news broadcast returns with business. Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, has reiterated commitment to the industry to strengthening maritime safety, environmental protection, and regional cooperation within the framework of the Abuja Memorandum of Understanding on Port State Control. A statement signed by the Special Advisor to the Minister on Media and Communications, Dr. Bolaji Akinola, says this during the third Bureau of Ministers meeting of the Abuja MOU in Conakry, Republic of Guinea. The minister also underscored Nigeria's determination to align its maritime governance with international standards while advancing the collective interest of West and Central Africa in global shipping. The high cost of grocery in Nigerian markets, as against the sharp decrease of farm produce, has remained a source of concern to farmers and dealers of farm produce. In this special report, Global TV Benue correspondent Felicity Ndere examines the situation.
The removal of petroleum subsidy at the inception of the present administration came with a hike in the prices of goods and services, including farm produce across the country, affecting the cost of living, with households struggling to survive.
Like in December, we bought soya beans at the rate of 1,700 to 1,800 per kilo. Now, a kilo of Benue seed is 1,000 naira.
In Makurdi, the Benue state capital, traders lament that the sharp decline in farm produce price has affected their daily earnings, as they share with Global Television News the experience of coping with the current economic hardship.
Our market is not steady. Like this bag now, last year is higher than this year. There were some bags where we buy high last year, they take on than this year. The things cannot balance one, say that this thing price will be continue to stay steady. No price will not stay steady.
They sell this akpu here at a very cheap rate. As the children don't resume school now, I go to buy the school bag, I no fit buy am because the price is too big.
Some vendors also expressed concern that the proposed fossil fuel tax under the new tax law projected to raise petrol prices about 45 naira per litre beginning January 2026 could further deepen the economic hardship faced by ordinary Nigerians and the final nail to the coffin.
This I be old woman carrying swan being like 2 mudu. If I go engine now, they will grant like 500 naira. If I come to say my money is not back, the fuel is too much. Just even to go to Guruku, I'm trekking.
Now it be 3,000 like this. Before I go finish, I go carry 3 bags inside. As I they carry, so now the capital they go.
Traders are urging the government to intervene and stabilize the market to reduce the hardship faced by citizens, hoping that prompt action will restore price balance and make goods more affordable nationwide. In Makurdi, Felicity Ndere reporting for Global Television News.
Timely market survey there. Thank you, Felicity. Tricycle is one of the fastest and easiest means of transportation in Kano, known to be operated by only men riders. However, the narrative is changing as women are gradually taking over tricycle operations, carrying only female and children passengers. In this special report, Global TV correspondent Idris Jibrin visited Matizala Entrepreneurs, where women are trained on how to ride tricycle for self-reliance.
For almost 6 months, Amina Hassan has been coming to this station where she was trained to become a tricycle rider. Amina now owns a tricycle and she rides through the busiest streets of Kano to earn a living. With 4 children and other dependents, Amina says she can now conveniently take care of her family even though she rides on hire purchase.
The impact of witness economic change when I started riding the tricycle, because I've gained more extra income, which I use it to take care of my family, my children's need, my mother and other relatives.
In Kano, culture and tradition plays an important role, especially among women. Hajia Hawa'u Ahmad is responsible for bringing together these women to become self-reliant through riding tricycle.
Women are left behind in the sector of transportation. Virtually in Kano, not only in Kano, in northern states, women doesn't participate with this kind of business. So I see no reason why we should not be involved in this kind of businesses. So I decided to call upon women to come out. Those that are interested in riding, they should come so that we will make access to them to acquire their keke napep for them to do as a business.
She says there are currently 100 women who are riding through the streets of Kano, effectively making life easier for them.
I was even thinking over, can these women really make it? Can they be able to do with the all passengers? You know, Kano is a busy state, but to God being him the glory, these women are really making it. But we have undergone so many training for them to get rid of everything that they will encounter.
Although lots of women have now become riders of tricycle, but the inability of government to intervene is threatening the effectiveness of these women to pursue their dreams to the logical conclusions. From Kano, Idris Jibrin, Global Television News.
We appreciate your reporting, Idris. Let's turn to the foreign scene for you tonight. Mali has imposed visa bond requirements on United States citizens identical to those Washington placed on Malian travelers in a tit-for-tat response to moves that its government has condemned as a violation of bilateral agreements. The Foreign Ministry in Bamako announced the reciprocal measures after the United States had begun requiring Malian nationals seeking business or tourist visas to post heavy bonds of between $5,000 and $10,000 starting on October 23rd. Mali says the United States program breaches a 2005 accords guaranteeing long-term visa access between the two nations and vowed to apply the same financial barriers to U.S. passport holders under the principle of reciprocity. And still in Africa, Cameroonians have headed to the polls as 92-year-old President Paul Biya seeks an 8th term extending over 4 decades in power. Biya faces 11 opponents, including former Minister Issa Chiroma Bakri, whose campaign has drawn youthful crowds in contrast to Biya's muted presence. Mukhtar Kassim reports.
Polls opened early Sunday across Cameroon, with long queues forming in major cities and quiet polling units in conflict-hit English-speaking regions. Paul Biya, who is president and has been in power since 1982, faces 11 challenges, among them 79-year-old Issa Chiroma Bakari, whose campaign has drawn unexpected enthusiasm, especially among young voters calling for change. Now, despite high employment and poverty affecting millions, many remain cautious about confronting the deeply entrenched system. Observers say the campaign has been livelier than usual, with some hinting at the possibility of surprises. Still, opposition voices argue that years of state dominance make any real upset unlikely. Now, as ballots are cast and counted, Cameroonians wait to see if this election signals continuity or the faint stirring of change. The Constitutional Council will announce the result by October 26. Mukhtar Kassim, reporting for Global Television News.
Elsewhere in Madagascar's capital, Antananarivo, soldiers have joined thousands of protesters in one of the largest anti-government demonstrations the country has seen in years. The youth-led movement, fueled by anger over power and water shortages, entered its third week with calls growing for President Andry Rajoelina to step down. Again, Mukhtar Kasim has details for us.
As police fired tear gas and stun grenades to disperse crowd, troops from the CAPSAT military unit rolled out into the city, greeted by cheers and chants from demonstrators waving the Madagascar flags. Their arrival marked a turning point, a rare moment where soldiers openly sided with civilians, urging fellow security forces to refuse orders to shoot. Local reporters say 2 people were killed and more than 2 dozens injured after gunfire broke out during the march to the Place de 13 May. The military's move has rattled the government, with the Prime Minister calling for unity and dialogue, warning that Madagascar cannot survive another national crisis. Now, as night fell over Antananarivo, gunfire still echoed through the streets, even as protesters sang and waved flags in defiance. The Gen Z movement insists it seeks democracy, not a coup, but with soldiers now joining the rallies, Madagascar's standoff has entered uncertain and dangerous territory. Mukhtar Kasim, reporting for Global Television News.
Thank you so very much, Mukhtar. Let's turn to the ever-exciting world of sports for you now. Team Nigeria has made a strong start at the 2025 World Para-Powerlifting Championships in Cairo, with Esther Wangu winning silver and Rukayat Sajiboye taking bronze in the 50 kg category. Sports Commission Chief Bukola Olakwade praised the athletes for their resilience and patriotism, saying their achievements inspire national pride. The tournament, running till October 18, marks the first time the global event is hosted on African soil. The Super Eagles have safely arrived in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State capital, after their aircraft had developed a cracked windscreen mid-air, forcing an emergency landing in Angola. The team was returning from South Africa after a 2-1 win over Lesotho when the incident occurred, delaying their trip by several hours. They're now set to face Benin Republic in a crucial World Cup qualifier on Tuesday, needing victory to secure a ticket to the 2026 World Cup. Tonight, we end News Prime with a look at some of our big stories. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has declared a 2-week warning strike across all public universities in Nigeria. In business, Minister of Marine and Blue Economy Adegboyega Oyetola has reaffirmed Nigeria's strong commitment to strengthening maritime safety, environmental protection, and regional cooperation within the framework of the Abuja Memorandum of Understanding on Port State Control. On the foreign scene, Mali has imposed visa bond requirements on United States citizens identical to those Washington placed on Malian travelers in a tit-for-tat response to moves that its government has condemned as a violation of bilateral agreements. And finally, in sport, we told you the Super Eagles have safely arrived in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State capital, after their aircraft developed a cracked windscreen mid-air, forcing an emergency landing in Angola. And that's News Prime for you tonight. So very much appreciate your time with us. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. As always, we encourage you to subscribe, engage, and continue to follow our broadcast across social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG, as well as other handles as we show you on our screen from time to time. On behalf of my colleagues who have made tonight's news broadcast possible, I'm Muyi Agmofwegbe saying have a very productive week ahead of you.